Okay, we're back. This is part 4 of the mandala bag tutorial videos, and we're gonna make the circles now. So everything we did in the last video is all gonna make sense because now we're going to make this thing into an actual circle. So you're gonna take very long string. I cut mine to like 300 centimeters just to make sure that I had enough. I probably really didn't need it that long, but that's how I work. So find a middle point where there are two dark purple strings, and pin your very long cord into the middle of it and set one section aside, and we're going to work on one. This will be our first round. So what's important is that you start knotting onto the cord you just pinned down, going in order. It's going to look a little kind of haphazard, but you have to make sure that you find the strings that are all right next to each other and start knotting them with the double knot. So as you can see, I'm going in order. So like two strings that were set aside have to be knotted in order. It's very kind of difficult to explain this, so please pay attention carefully to what I'm doing. See that that's the next two on this first half petal, let's call it. If you go out of order, it's gonna probably make it seem really funky. So you have to get the two that we made like a row out of and set aside, and knot those two strings. Now, because I did the colors the way they are, they're gonna be like, you know, one pink, one purple, one pink, one purple, two purple, two pink, that kind of thing. It's not gonna be exactly like all the same colors together. So now, where am I? Now I'm at the middle. These are the middle two for that petal. Those get knotted, both. One, and then the second one. And as you keep going towards that direction, you're going to you have to make sure to find the two cords that are together like so, and knot them in order. So that was the middle, and then one row, and then this is the second row on the left side of this petal. So 1, 2, this is 3, 4 strings, not counting the middle, and then 5 and 6 strings. I'm putting my finger underneath to show you that the two strings that you have to knot came from the same row. I truly hope that this is making sense, but you have to just watch very carefully to make sure you're doing it the correct way. I really think it'll make your project like not flat if you go out of order on this. So if you do happen to make a mistake, you're probably going to have to go back and fix it. So it's best to just try to, like, as you're moving from petal to petal, to straighten them out and make sure that you're using the right chords. I think my camera started falling, so I had to adjust. Okay, so I'm still doing the same thing. I'm finding the 2 chords that came from a row and making sure that I knot those 2 chords. And when you come to like the in-between section, just like I said, just like as they were in a row, in order rather. And we're just going to keep going on and on like this until you have gone all the way around, your mandala. So I was going to try to put a number, but I have to calculate it. So because we had I'll put a little like text note up there that says how many strings should be all the way around the circle when you have come back to your starting point, which is where that pin is. When we come back all the way around to where the pin is pinning down your working chord, then we're gonna do a second circle in the opposite direction. All right, so hopefully you guys get the idea. Just keep watching, and if you have to play back the beginning, you're just going to keep going around in the same way until you've come all the way back to the starting point. And I'll be back to sort of explain going the opposite direction. It's really not like a complicated thing. Okay, thanks. Okay, so we finished the first circle. Now we're going to start the second, going in the opposite direction. First, I'm just finishing up knotting to where we first added the very first string. It's quite long, as you can see. It's taken me a minute to pull it all the way through. Okay, so that's that. You've completed one circle. Now I'm going to take the string that is pointed towards the right on the screen, and I'm just going to start making a second row in the opposite direction, and this will be much easier because the strings are already laid out there. So it's just one by one, going all the way around until you've come back to, again, the starting point, which is where we added the string to make the circle. That part will become important when we start doing the middle section. We're going to use those two strings on both mandalas to add more strings to make the middle part. Okay, so I just showed you with my finger. Those are the two strings that we added, and you just start knotting double knots. I'm doing it the opposite direction because I put my string in half, and one side we did all the way around and it got short, and the second half is long. So I don't know, I just like to do it this way. I suppose it's really up to you, because we don't really need it to be super long when we create the middle part, as you'll see in the next video. All right, so that's going to be it. Just, you can keep watching if you like till I complete the second row of the circles. You can create more rows if you want to. It's not going to make an impact on your final product. Just as long as you have those two strings, which is really just the one string that we added to make the rows, as your starting point for when we start to make the middle section. All right, guys, so that's it for now. Next video is the start of the middle section, which is very time consuming, so get ready for that. All right, thanks, bye.